So, as you may know, I always talk about the optimal diet for human beings. A diet of raw fruits and vegetables. You know, it's the species-specific diet. It's a diet that fits our physiology and our anatomy the best. But what about the next best thing? What's the next best thing for a human being? Well, pretty simple. I would basically just say, go vegan. Avoid all animal products, because we are not designed to consume meat. There's a whole heap of problems with consuming meat. And milk is for babies. There's no animal in nature drinking milk beyond infancy. Why should we? And certainly there's no animal that drinks the milk of another animal, another species. So drinking cow's milk and eating cheese, not the best, not the best. So we want to avoid animal products. And we also want to avoid processed foods, refined food. The next best thing is a diet of whole food sources, plant-based sources. We're talking about potatoes, corn, rice, beans, lentils, sweet potatoes, yams, all these different starches, with carbohydrate sources that are not edible raw, that needs to be cooked. Sure, it's not ideal, but it's still a whole lot better than what most people are doing, because most people are just eating anything, pretty much anything. And it's a lot of meat, and there's a lot of milk products, and there's a lot of eggs, and there's a lot of fat, a lot of oil, a lot of refined sugar. These things are not good. You want to avoid all kinds of processed foods, and if you just take that step, I'm sure that if humanity would just take that step from eating processed, denatured, high-fat, animal product type diet, and go from that to just eating a whole foods, plant-based diet of fruits and vegetables, starches, we would see huge improvements in health. I mean, I just want to encourage you to take a look at Dr. McDougall's work. Dr. McDougall, also Dr. Neil Bernard, T. Colin Campbell. There are many others as well, but particularly I very much enjoy listening and watching videos from Dr. McDougall. He really keeps it clear. I mean, the effects of animal foods on human health are very bad. It's not an ideal food for us. I mean, if you eat a little bit of meat, that's probably not so big a deal. But if you're eating a lot of meat, it's really taxing the body, and it's just way too much protein and too much fat. And most studies actually point to the same conclusion, that a diet of carbohydrates, mostly carbohydrates, is the best for human health. We want to keep the fat intake and the protein intake fairly low. These are general recommendations of most studies that we see today, actually. So yeah, I want to encourage you to, you know, eat as much fruits and vegetables as you can, eat as much raw food as you can. But if you're not there yet, if you're not ready to eat all raw, if you're not ready to eat fruits, if you're in a place where there's not so much fruit available, it's difficult, you know, whatever the reason, you can still have fairly good health just by cutting out the animal products and cutting out the processed foods. Anything that comes in a package, anything with an ingredient list, just avoid it. You know, stick to the things that you can see as a whole food. You know, that's a potato, that's a banana, that's the rice, whole grains, whole starches, roots, tubers, lentils, beans, legumes. Things that are just one ingredient. It's just one simple food, and you cook it, or if you can eat it raw, you eat it raw. Basically just simple eating, and it's very enjoyable as you get tuned in to natural flavors, and as you stop using all the addictive substances and all the stimulants, your taste buds actually acquire higher level of sensitivity and you start enjoying natural foods, try it out. I mean, try it out and see for yourself. It takes 2 weeks to wean off salt. And then you can enjoy the salt that's already in the food. You can taste it more. A vegan diet of whole plant foods. Just like the traditional diets of the whole world have been like that, you know. Look at Asian diets. What were they based around? What are they still mostly based around? Rice. They're based around rice. What about South America or America in general? Corn. It's about corn. You know. What about Europe? It was about wheat, bread. So it's always been about carbohydrates, and it's just recently that we've started incorporating a lot of animal foods into our diet after, you know, the Industrial Revolution, and more the, you know, starting to the globalization and the mass production of food, and you know, it's just become really easy to eat a crappy diet. Basically, there's just junk food everywhere, so that's what's going on. You also want to avoid oil, because oil isn't really a health food, you know. Oil is a refined product, 100% fat, no vitamins and minerals in there, so you want to avoid oil. So, simple. The solution is very simple. We just need to stop hurting ourselves with what we eat. And if you go from eating anything and you switch to eating a vegan diet of whole food sources, simple cooking, simple eating, I guarantee you, you'll see an improvement in your health, no doubt. And by eating sufficient carbohydrates, you'll also be able to fuel your body properly, so that you'll have the energy to do what you want to do. You know? Alright. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't done so already. I appreciate you watching and listening. That's pretty cool, allowing me to share. If there's any questions, post them down below. Have an awesome day, and remember, keep it plant-based and whole foods. That's the key.